Hello friends, you want to get your operation as efficient, as quickly as possible, and there's three benchmarks on that journey, and I've talked about them before. Number one is get to 10 cows, right? You get to buy a super sack, you get to start buying round bales. There's 10 units of vaccine in a jar, things like that. When you have 1 cow or 10 cows, you have a water trough, you have a fencer, things like that. Now you're getting those items and you're spreading it out over 10 cows. Your next number is 30 cows, right? With 30 cows, you can now buy a bull. You can you can start selling groups. You can start lead feeding and creep feeding and doing things like that. By the way, creep feeding doesn't always have to mean grain. A lot of times it can just mean, feeding alfalfa or putting a hot wire a little bit higher so that the little calves can get underneath the wire and go eat the better feed. And then the third place you want to be as fast as you can is kind of where your operation is up at elevation, and to me that means fully utilizing your competitive advantages. And so like for my friend Gary, he's got 9 acres of pasture and he's got retail customers for 5 head of beef. He's got a little beef operation that's clicking along. That's what he's doing with his 9 acres, and he works for the sheriff's office, and that's great. To use myself as an example, I get 1,000 pounds a day of dry matter from the breweries, and if I'm going to feed 10 pounds a day of that, that means I got to have 100 head. And then I do cattle for ranch sorting and things like that. I've got to have 40, 50 head of little calves every winter for those guys. And I have to have so many locker beef customers. So you have to get yourself up to where you're, on plane, at altitude, to where you're fully utilizing your competitive advantages. So this discussion was started with purebred cattle yesterday, our registered cattle, and the registered business. Now, I don't have a problem with a registered bull. I don't have a problem with registered cattle. Hey, I win the lottery, I'll probably go get some. But as a business model, until you've achieved those other 3 numbers, until you've got your 10 cows or your 30 cows, or until you're fully utilizing your competitive advantages, the registered cattle, they are what they are.